Hello, and welcome to the AIM North America Cannabis Podcast Series. With nearly 30 years of experience, AIM North America is a nonprofit trade alliance representing organizations that buy, sell, implement, manufacture, and/or use automatic data capture technologies, including RFID, barcode, RTLS, and more. The Cannabis Workgroup is an AIM North America committee focusing on the traceability needs of the products moved through the highly regulated cannabis supply chain from seed to sale. This new podcast series will provide insights and expertise to meet traceability and package labeling requirements for growers, processors, distributors, and retailers within the cannabis community. So I'm Bethany Dean with AIM. I have Dwayne Roebuck here with Blue Star and David Eagleson with Outlaw Technology. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thank you,
Great.
Bethany.
Thanks.
Pleasure
Happy
to
to be
be
here.
here.
All right, so I wanted to start off by letting you guys introduce yourselves and share your experience in the cannabis industry.
My name is, as Bethany said, Dwayne Roebuck. I'm the Channel Strategy Manager for Retail and Hospitality at Blue Star. Been with Blue Star for about 12 years. Been working in the cannabis industry since about 2016. Got into this industry, because we were looking for new trends in retail. And I thought that this would be a great area where, we could help the individuals within the cannabis industry to stay compliant, maintain track and trace. And it's been a fun ride ever since.
Yeah, and I'm Dave Eagleson. I'm the founder and CEO of Outlaw Technology. My background, the reason I'm involved in Ames is I've had a 25-year experience working with Ames. I was with a startup called Matrix that was acquired by Symbol. So long history in the RFID world. Jumped into the cannabis space really as a follow-on to Metric, which any of those in the industry knows who Metric is. They put RFID tags on plants and packages, allowing us to create systems, my company Outlaw, to do things like smart handhelds, harvest systems, and such. The beauty of it is we're leveraging the automatic identification side of things, which is really AIM's focus. So it ties nicely to the cannabis industry compliance and what AIM's members are trying to accomplish.
So you both are members of the AIM North America Cannabis Work Group. Dwayne, please tell me about AIM North America and why you were involved.
AIM North America has proven to be at least, from my professional experience, a critical independent, third party where like minds get together, get engaged, and we figure out problems, without, any preference in terms of manufacturers, technology. We literally get together, network, and figure out how we can resolve issues utilizing AIDC technologies and help each other expand.
So Dwayne, you are the chair of this work group. Why was this group formed and what is its mission?
This group was formed because initially, when I got into the cannabis industry, it was very disjointed. Some people were track and trace using clipboards and pieces of paper. Others were using Excel spreadsheets. It was very manually intensive, and so we thought that we'd be able to help the cannabis and help people in the cannabis industry through a variety of technologies to move away from manual processes and automate, making it more, what's the word I'm looking for? Making it so that the information is more trusted, more reliable. And so what we found is that other individuals in our channel were struggling the same, not only with how to engage with folks from the cannabis industry, but also what technologies they should put before people in this industry. And so, this group was put together as a collaborative effort to, educate members of our group as well as to help people in the cannabis industry.
David, I'm going to turn it to you. As a member of the cannabis work group, why did you get involved?
Yeah, like I alluded to in the beginning, I've had a long experience with Ames, going back quite a few years. I'm not the youngest, so I guess I've been at this a while. So the beauty of Ames, I think, as Dwayne touched on, is you're bringing together groups that have various solutions. Look, the reality of it is people need to do things more quickly, accurately, efficiently, and you can only do that with certain levels of technology. Pen and paper will only get you so far. Manual input will only get you so far. And the problem with both of those is they're error driven. So I think what Ames is helping to do is bring a variety of folks into this space. Cannabis has to understand that this technology, like RFID, for example, which we touched on, is ubiquitous in this marketplace. Walmart, Lululemon, UPS. There's so many groups that are leveraging it. I think cannabis has to understand that there are technologies out there now. The need in the cannabis industry is very unique in the compliance side of things. It's not cookie cutter, if that's the right term. So I think there is some nuances that have to be understood coming into this space. But fundamentally, I think Ames brings a variety of folks to the industry that said, hey, I've done this for a retailer, I've done this for a processor. So I think that's where the beauty of it lies.
So the newest initiative this work group is doing is launching a podcast series. Who is the target audience? What topics will be covered, and why should someone listen? And Dwayne, I'll let you go first.
Yes, the target audience, my belief is anyone who's interested in, not only learning more about cannabis, but, as Dave so eloquently stated, learning about, AIDC and RFID and the technologies, that can one be sold into the industry and also utilized and leveraged by the cannabis industry. Today's point, manual tracking and maintenance of record will only get you so far. When you implement some of the technologies that we'll be talking about moving forward, you'll see where you can, go from, let's say, 60% accuracy to over 90% accuracy in terms of inventory and do so, quickly. Anyone who's looking for operational efficiencies and learning about the cannabis industry, this podcast series will be good for you.
David?
Yeah, I'd say to add on to that, the industry is unique in my mind in the sense that it's made up of a lot of, you have social equity partners, you have folks that have come out of industries very with no knowledge of even what a handheld does or what a touchscreen does, or even what the technology could do for them. So we have large companies, we call MSOs that have multi-state operations, but then we also have moms and pops where maybe owned a dry cleaner at one point, but now I own a dispensary. I think that's the target market where these folks are coming into this space. I would say, I hate to use the word green, but I guess just uneducated, not in a negative sense, but just don't know such technology exists. So I think people want to hear the series because they're going to get educated on, hey, this is what can be done. And oh, by the way, it's being done by the world's largest companies. I mentioned Walmart. So there's a lot of groups that I think really could benefit from the understanding of what this type of technology as a suite of products can do for people. Because honestly, we have thousands of devices, Outlaw does, out there being used to help with these functions. But what I'm telling you, the majority of our clients are very small business people, business women, men, people of all walks of life are in this industry because it's almost coming out of nowhere. It's never existed before. So I think that's where this series becomes valuable, is them just getting a better education of, this is what's possible. This is what you could do. As Dwayne pointed out, people are seeking out solutions. They just don't know where to turn.
And even if you do feel like you know the technology, as Dave has stated before, this industry is a bit different. And so there are nuances to it. And I'd be willing to bet that, you may either, have a way that someone hasn't thought about in terms of leveraging the technology, or, there might be someone who can help you.
So, what are some of the topics that will be covered in this podcast series?
The topics that we'll be covering are testing, compliance, RFID and blockchain, smart packaging, use of QR codes, and enhancing customer experience and authenticity. And, it's in no particular order, so you'll have to tune in to see which one is relevant, if not all.
Yeah, to add on to that, Dwayne, I think the value of it is it's really relevant to anyone. If you're in the industry and you're a dispenser, you still should understand compliance. You should still should understand RFID and the other aspects. Look, this is a supply chain from seed to sale. You hear the term in this space, and it's relevant. So I think folks should tune in just to get more understanding of the various segments. And I think the goal of Ames and the working group was to come up with topics that would be relevant and that would be meaningful to the, greater audience, if you want to use that term.
Yeah, and if you're not in the industry, these topics can be particularly enlightening, to give you an idea of exactly, what some of the rules and regulations, that the folks in the cannabis industry have to adhere to.
Yep. And I think the last thing I'll throw on that was, look, I think the everyday public doesn't understand how well and how tightly regulated cannabis is. And I think it would be eye-opening for folks to get a better sense of the seed to sale concept is there's a traceability of every plant to harvest, to packaging, to product, to sale. There's no other product line that I can think of, even pharmaceutical related, that's tracked to the level that cannabis has been tracked. Now, again, it's being required because of its coming out of, let's say, being a illegal substance to being legal. So it's going through, I think, a learning curve, and it's going through a lot of interesting, I would say, maturing, if that's the right term. So this technology, like the metric system I mentioned in passing, that's used for these RFID tags, the beauty of the system is, you're tracing these things end to end. So I think people need to understand that. And tuning into the podcast series, I think they'll get a better understanding of what we're talking about.
And just to clarify, this is not the metric system that you learned about in school. This is METRC.
Duly noted.
If someone wants to learn more about AIM North America or get involved in the cannabis work group, how can they do so?
If someone wants to get involved, we definitely welcome you and we'd encourage you to reach out at either on the website, aim-na.org, or you can reach out via email at info@aim-na.org.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bethany. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to this AIM North America Cannabis podcast. Again, the AIM North America Cannabis Work Group is raising awareness of asset tracking technologies in this highly regulated environment. If you'd like to learn more about these initiatives, you can reach out to us at info@aim-na.org, go to our website at www.aim-na.org, or give us a call at 724-742-4473.